Hello, 7th graders. I hope you had fun on your ski trip. I am gone with the 8th graders on theirs today. What I have set for you for the last couple days we have together is looking at this piece of hardware called a Circuit Playground. It's something that I do a longer unit with my 8th grade computer science class on. This is kind of like a Raspberry Pi. It's a mini computer. It's basically just one chip, but it does have LED lights. So if I reset it right now, you'll see it light up. It has buttons. It has a switch right here, and then it has some built-in sensors on it. We are going to make an app in code.org that allows us to control some of the aspects of this device and then to get some information from the sensors that are built into it. So to do that, you're going to need to go to code.org and go to projects on the top. Now remember, whenever you're watching a video that I've prepared for you, when you need to stop and do something, pause the video, do what you need to do, and then start it again. And you can always go back into the video and go backwards and re-listen to things if you miss something or if you need more help doing it again. So after you get into projects, we're going to go to App Lab. And in App Lab, we have basically a little screen that looks like the screen that we used in MIT App Inventor. This is code.org's version that they have. We didn't use it for app creation because it's really not as robust as MIT App Inventor is. We're going to go to first rename this project, and we're going to call it, you can just call it CP Intro, Circuit Playground Intro, and save it. You need to click on this little gear. We need to enable the Maker Toolkit that allows us to use the Circuit Playground. So click Enable. And we will start designing our screen. So what we're going to do is have first a bunch of buttons that will control the colors that these LED lights light up to be. So to do that, we're going to need some buttons. So in Design, which is right here, look where my mouse is, we're going to pull over a button. I'm going to do a lot of duplicating. The duplicate button is over here on the right. If you can't see it on your screen, you need to make it a little bit bigger so you can see this option right here. I need to first of all give it a good name. When you get to the programming part of this, if your names aren't good, it's going to be difficult for you to follow along with the coding. So I'm going to call this button red. And the text is going to be red, and I'm going to change the background color as well to red. Now I'm going to duplicate this one button, move it over here, and I'm going to call this button orange, change the text to orange, and click over here on the background color, change my slider, find a good orange color that I like. And there we go. And duplicate. And yellow. You're going to continue doing this until you have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then pink. Now that I have my color buttons, I'm going to create two buttons, one for turning the colors on and one for turning them off. So button colors on, and then I'll duplicate that one. and colors off. So we'll do a couple different things with these buttons when we get to programming it, but let's lay out the rest of our screen. So the first thing I'm going to do is just make a little bit of a divider. I'm going to click on the text label option and pull this over, and I am going to name it horizontal line 1. You can name it dividing line as well. And instead of text, I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to press the dash button that's next to the 0, and so it's in between the 0 key and the plus equals key on your keyboard, and just make a little dividing line to divide my screen up just a little bit. You can change the color of that too if you want to make it something fun. I always go with a pink or a purple, and you can change the width of it, the height of it here, but you can't really change the thickness unless you change the font. So I changed it to 20. So now I have this nice little purple line that's going to divide the sections up that I'm doing right now. So this is my colors. I also want to show you what we can do with the sensors and the sound output. So for sound output, we can make buttons. So we're going to make one button right here. We'll do a button for a high frequency, a medium, and a low frequency sound. So we'll call this button high frequency sound. High frequency. I'm going to expand this button a little bit, and then I'm going to duplicate it and do a medium frequency sound. So we'll do medium sound and pull that over and duplicate again and do a low frequency sound. Low. Duplicating is awesome because it makes you have to type a lot less, and is really great for making things that are the same size so it lines up and looks nice on your screen. We can also do some sound adjustments with a slider. So if we pull a slider over, and let's name it sound slider sound, and we will just leave that the way it is right now. We won't change anything about it. And then we need to duplicate this line and pull this down, because now we're going to do, says horizontal line 2. And we're going to do a little bit of work with the temperature sensors and the sound and light sensors. So the Circuit Playground can actually read in what it is getting for a temperature or a sound. So your temperature is right here. It has a little temperature icon on it. That's the sensor that's going to check that. This one with the little eyeball is the light sensor, so it senses how bright the light is. And there is a sound sensor. There's a little picture of an ear right here. That sound sensor senses how loud or quiet a sound is. So let's put in some things to check what those values are. So first of all, for temperature, let's pull over a label, and we will say label temp, and we'll call it temperature. And let's just do temperature in Fahrenheit, because that's what we use here in the United States. Label temp F for Fahrenheit, and we'll put a 0. Okay? Move it so it's next to it. We can then do a little bit of interesting visual stuff with the sensors for sound and for light. One of the neat things that we can do is have labels light up or change color based on how loud or soft something is. So I'm going to do a label for right here, and we will do we're going to call it label sound sensor, and this is going to be volume. And then I'm going to pull one more label down and we will do some duplicating here. So let's make the background color of this. We'll start with our loudest, which we will do in red. And this will be label volume loud. And we will say loud exclamation point. And why don't we set the width to be 75 and center that. And now I'm going to duplicate this. So when I duplicate it, I end up with, again, a 75 width, but now I need to change the information on it. So this will be label medium volume and medium. And I'm going to do that in like a yellow. And then one more, and we will do low volume, low, or you could even say, now we'll do low, and change that to green. Okay, I'm going to repeat this for the light sensor. So I'm going to pull over a label and I'm going to say brightness and brightness, so we know what this is showing us. And then I'm going to duplicate these. I'm going to do a bright, label bright, light, and line this up a little better, and duplicate this yellow one, and medium light, leave it at medium, and duplicate low light, light and low. Beautiful. If you get to this point, first of all, you can make this look a little bit better. So you could change the font for the temperature to be a little bit bigger. So I did 16, and you could center the temperature more on the screen. You could also change the volume and brightness, make that the labels a little bit bigger. You could change the color of those. That's up to you how you want to do that. We can do a little bit of coding without me here. If you are ready to do a little bit of the coding, I want you to open the second video where I'm going to show you some of the coding. I do expect you to get this part done during the class period.